You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things. Okay, guys, you've seen the corrections that have been happening in this hobby. This is the time. Everybody that didn't want to be in the hobby is dumping their stuff. This is when you can grab them. This is a buyer's market. Don't miss out. I'm going to show you what I just bought, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing about my collecting. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe it's a not good idea. Leave some comments underneath. I'd like to know what you think of the purchases I did. Thanks, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, I hope that you're all enjoying your summer. And in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing about my collecting, right? I've had several thoughts about what to do in this market. I've looked at some of the situations that we're all facing. I mean, specifically, the economy and then the comic book industry seems to be, or there seems to be a big correction in comic prices. And it was to be expected. I mean, any one of us that have been in this business and in this hobby for the last few decades have always realized prices were a little bit crazier than we had ever seen them. So the correction is actually something of a welcome. It's a welcome because and I'll tell you this, I enjoyed when the prices were going crazy. I took advantage of it. I sold some stuff, and I also bought some stuff, but I didn't go crazy on my buying because I saw the prices were so nuts that's when I really started to sell. And that's because I had inventory, right? If you're new to the hobby, that's a different story. You're coming in and you're saying to yourself, well, I want to get into this. You're just buying. But guys like me, I mean, we've been around for the last, like, maybe 40, 50 years in the hobby. So because of it, there's decades of inventory that I'm holding on to and things that, my tastes have changed over time. And so if I've explained, I'm going more and more and more towards the golden age and less away from everything having to do with 1962 and forward. But that doesn't mean I don't buy things that are either in the modern or Bronze Age. I do when I think it's a good thing that I can buy today and flip tomorrow. So this is not a good market to be thinking that way, right? I disagree. I think that if we think that way, we can take advantage in the same way that people do with stocks. Everybody tends to sell their stock at some point. I mean, when there's a rush on a stock, and the prices just go down, and then suddenly they go up the next day. And the reason for that is because what's called an institutional investor will come in and take advantage of that dip, and then they'll buy and bring the stock back to what it's considered to be its market rate. The same thing happens with comics. There's a lot of comics that have been hit hard, and a lot of comics that are going to come back. I specifically think ASM, Fantastic Four, all the old key, Daredevil, X-Men, all of these guys are going to come back. They're going to come back, and they're going to come fast and furious, especially because the MCU is not concerned about our hobby, but it's concerned about its life. And if the MCU doesn't get their act together, they're not going to have a very long life. So anyway, let's talk about some of the things I have been buying. And that's what this video is about. I'm going to show you 4 comics that I decided to buy, basically because I thought too good to pass up. All of these are under $100. Now I want you to consider, I think all of them, with the exception of one, is a 9.8. Now I want you to consider that just putting them in a CGC case will cost you about $45 when you're all said and done. Between shipping it there, shipping it back, and getting it graded, no matter what comic it is, it's really going to cost you $45. Some people say $35. I think of the time and effort you put into it, the fact that you actually have to pay for the shipping both ways, and the fact that if you decide to get it pressed, we're talking maybe $70. Okay? So let's think about that. If you want to get it pressed because you want to get a 9.8, you're going to add that $15, $20 they charge minimally for pressing. And then you're going to add the case cost. So altogether, you're in for probably 60, $70. Now think of this. What if you could guarantee yourself a 9.8 and pay for it about the same? Well, that's what I've done. This will be the first one I'll show you. I did this one for a couple of reasons. Crisis on Infinite Earth series, The Final Fate of the Flash. This is the death of the Flash. That's Barry Allen Flash, right? Actually, it's a really nice comic from a great series that ran in DC in 1985. So why did I buy this? Well, it's the death of the Flash. The Flash just got its own movie. The Flash has been on television for years. The Flash is one of the most popular DC characters. Believe it or not, a lot of people that don't even know comics know the Flash. That's not the same for every other comic character. When you get a guest appearance or a sudden appearance of She-Hulk, nobody in their right mind ever heard of She-Hulk until that show. With the Flash, it's different. It's been around forever. So that's one of the reasons I did it. I think it's a key. I think it's something I'll hang on to for a few years and be able to release it. What I paid for it, like I said, it's under 100. So think of these about $80 on average. I think some of them even less. Okay, here's the next one. Another one that I consider to be a key that is way undervalued right now. Got it for less than $100. Same story. New Mutants #1, 9.8. Guys, there's a lot of New Mutants out there, but the 9.8s are tough. During the time that New Mutants came out, New Mutants was not necessarily hoarded or very popular. And actually, I shouldn't say that it was popular and it got read. So that's one of the reasons why you don't find a lot of 9.8s. I have the entire run. I have it 1 to 100. Missing, of course, the only one that's really great key, which is the Deadpool key, number 98, I believe. I think I'm missing that one of the entire run. But in any case, I got another #1. The one that I've got, that I bought off the rack, that's been in my collection, is probably, if I sent it out, would come an 8.5 or a 9.0. So it's not easy to get a 9.8. So this will be the last 9.8, and then I'll talk about one that wasn't a 9.8, but that I find really tough to find, and I think right now is a gift, because I think I got that one for like under $30, which is less than case cost. Okay, but this one, Legion of Superheroes, anniversary issue, number 300. As far as key, it's just a Giffen cover. He was one of the best artists that Legion had. It's an anniversary, it's number 300, and that's about it. But it's a 9.8, and it's a 9.8 from 1983, and they're not easy to find. This is a square-bound book, this is a thick book, this is a thick case. So when I saw it, and I saw it for under 100, I went for it. And then the last one, and again, you guys are noticing, none of these are ones that are jumping out from, watching any of the shows out there and thinking, oh wow, this is the next big thing. But I just thought these are some of the opportunities that you can find right now on eBay and anywhere, and we're just letting them go because we're thinking, oh, it's the end of the world, only these certain keys are valuable. Guys, all that changes, all of it. Last one, 9.4, Omega the Unknown. I got this for under $30. Okay, there is no chance that I cannot unload Omega the Unknown at any given time for at least twice that. Specifically because this is a character that Marvel has identified as coming into the MCU at some point. And they've actually revived them, I think, once or twice in the last 10 years. And the reason is, sometimes these unknown characters like Omega, and even New Mutants, are the ones that Marvel owns outright. So they can use those for a while. Now they've bought all their stuff back. But for a while they would do these guys because they have total control over the licensing. And there's also other aspects that sometimes the character ties into something that they didn't expect when they actually created the television series, and then they'll bring him in anyway. So look, there's a lot of reasons why, But the bottom line is, guys, it's a great time to buy. I'm telling you, the deals that you're seeing out there, if you are looking to build a collection right now, you couldn't have picked a better time. This is the best time to start collecting. You can get almost anything you want from the Bronze Age at a decent price. You're not going to get your typical Hulk 181. I mean, those are still going to be out there, but there's a ton of other material that you can get. So anyway, that's all I had for you guys today. Oh, one last thing I do want to say. I am sending out the CGC, as I've told you before. Let me show you what I'm sending next. Captain Midnight. This is number 43. I think this is a 1946 comic. Marvel Family, number 11. This is actually a key. Can't remember what the key is. If you want to put it down in the comments, if you actually know about Marvel Family, go ahead. Love to hear it, because I know this is a key. I'm sending it out, all of these, because of condition. I mean, if you didn't see, this is an all black cover, and there's not one spine tick. This one's got some issues, not in the greatest possible shape. Not in the greatest possible shape, but it is a 1940s golden age Marvel, DC, and it's got the three of the main characters on there. You've got the Golden Age Green Lantern, you've got the Golden Age Flash, and Wonder Woman. Another one because of condition. Any of these hit 9.8, it's a gold mine. And if they don't, these are going to come back just based on the condition they've got. These are going to come back at least 9.0. So anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining, and I'll be seeing you soon.